Well, hello, and welcome to the Points of Interest podcast. This is the most generic podcast on the internet. My name is Josh Hawks. I am the 303 Ninja, and right over there, he is my podcasting partner for life. He is the Kung Fu artist. He is the other guy. It's Mr. Francis Fernandez.
You know, Kung Fu in the 70s and 80s had a lot of open palm stuff, you know, a lot of chopping. A lot of chopping in the 80s and 90s. Then the 2000s, they're like, we're going to start punching in our martial arts movies. Like, all right, I'll do punching in the martial arts movies. No more chopping.
I want
with the chopping.
I want to make like a 70s intro to a TV show with you. Like Starsky and Hutch.
Like a Starsky, I was going to say like a Starsky and Hutch, or like a Chips.
Chips.
You know?
Something British. I can't think of a British one, but something British. You know,
from the 80s. Oh, geez.
Like the 70s, like 60s or 70s. Yeah, like, you know, where you get out. There's like some of these. There's always a kung fu artist. You know, or you get out and you get out of the car and punch somebody.
Well, before I saw like some of the older Jackie Chan movies, I think the oldest Jackie Chan movie I saw was Cannonball Run.
Wow. Okay. It's not his movie. He's got a cameo.
Yeah. He's in it. Dom DeLuise is in that movie.
Dom DeLuise is in that movie. You know, so is Tony Danza.
So is Tony. Yeah. Well, it was an ensemble cast, right? Like it was all fancy schmancy people, like in this movie of note of that era, which is like what's so cool about it.
Yeah, I enjoyed the second one more, but
which one was the second one?
Cannonball Run 2.
Oh, just Cannonball Run. Well, so because Burt Reynolds was doing like Smoking the Bandit and like all those types of movies, all the weird like racing, not racing, but like heist movies or racing movies, I guess.
I mean, like Cannonball Run is like Wacky Races live action.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever watched Wacky Races.
So that's why I don't know. You didn't see.
You're like, yeah, I guess, sure.
Where was Sally Field in? Which one was the one Sally Field was in? Because I was, hi there, Ginger and Lister's mate. Glad you're in so early. You guys are like the first. It was great.
Which is always appreciated.
Which one was the one? Which one was the Sally Field one? Was that
There's a Sally Field one where
Smoking the Bandit.
I don't know. Oh no,
she's with Burt Reynolds. She's like the
Smoking the Bandit. You watched it.
Yeah.
You hated it.
I did. I know we talked about it, right? And I liked Sally Field in it. I was like really surprised Sally Field was in that movie, and I'm like, oh, Sally Field's in this movie. This is great. Like she still looks great, you know. And we were talking about her Gidget days and whatever, and Flying Nun days when we were reviewing Smoking the Bandit. But yeah, I hated the sheriff guy. I hated
back when we were interesting.
Back when we were interesting.
That's like a double. That's a double one, you know, for the people that were playing. You know, been keeping score the whole time, and then like, you know, just a reminiscing thought.
Thanks, Ginger. I'm glad you paid attention to the time, Ginger. We don't. Josh and I don't. Because we get caught up in our own little personal life stories, and then we're like, oh, we should probably record something. So eventually come on.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Like, let me tell you all the things we can't talk about.
Exactly.
So when we hit
kayfabe.
So when we hit record, I don't fuck up and say something.
Right.
Roger Moore and Farrah Fawcett.
Wow.
I don't. Farrah Fawcett, I think I can remember, but not Roger Moore so much.
Was Sammo Hung in Cannonball Run?
I don't believe so.
Who was with Jackie Chan? Who was the guy with Jackie Chan?
Jaws.
Because he had a partner. Like, he had a racing partner.
Jaws.
I was Jaws.
For the first one, I think he was with Jaws, and then the second one, maybe it was Jaws again, but I don't remember the actor's name. I apologize, but the guy that played Jaws, not the shark.
Yeah. Look, a lot of people are nostalgic, nowadays. I was, I posted on Twitter about the 486, and I was tempted, but I'm like, oh man, this is too nerdy to just mention how some of the joy I had from old computers, something I really enjoyed owning an old, IBM i386, i486, etc., before it became the Pentium 2 and all that stuff, was having to defrag your computer every once in a while. There was something just so soothing about defragging your computer and seeing the little dots just kind of that were scattered, just go in line, one by one in your computer. I was like, that's satisfying. That's like weirdly satisfying.
Yes, organize all of my packets.
Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, I miss those days.
Well, I mean, you were talking about it on Twitter about wanting to get an old tower, an old CRT, and just have it out.
Oh yeah, in a guest room. Like if I had a house, I'd have a guest room with that in it. Yeah.
I think that would be funny as hell because your whole house, when they turn it on, your whole house would like dim for a second.
Well, I would just at least the room, right?
Oh,
so,
for sure.
Like my ideal home would be pretty high tech, right? It would have like an iPad that controls like the lighting and the thermostat and all that stuff, right? It'll all be, but then the guest room is just this old rickety CRT with like a dot matrix printer, and it has internet. It has a Netscape Navigator installed, so you can go online if you really want to. So they can go online, go on Netscape Navigator, go and see if any of the websites work with only HTML 1.0 as like the backdrop of their browser. And I'd have a great time. I'd love it. I would just have so much fun. But that's like so nerdy. That's like way too nerdy.
Is it? Is it though?
I think so.
My response to it on your Twitter was to just emulate Windows 3 and just have at it that way.
I could probably put on my phone. I could probably put Windows 3.1 on my phone and like, yeah.
I mean,
just do that.
You could think about. I mean, that would be weird to navigate your phone with Windows 3.1, but it's an Android. You probably could.
Yeah. Or a compact. I want to get an old compact tower, or HP Hewlett Packard tower.
Play some shareware.
Yeah.
No.
Shareware.
Okay, you didn't respond, so I'm like, well, okay, maybe not.
Shareware, sure.
Yeah.
No,
sure.
have
some Doom. Maybe.
Yeah, have Wolfenstein. Just have Wolfenstein.
Oh, yeah, some Wolfenstein
installed in there. Yeah.
Some Duke Nukem.
Have it. Yeah, Duke Nukem. Yeah. On an E-machine. Let's say E-machine on it and everything. That'd be great. And those IBM keyboards are so loud and clicky. Like that's what I love about it. They were really loud.
When I went to get the car serviced a week ago, the guy that helped me, he had a mini keyboard. And when I was given the date of my birth, and he was punching in the numbers on the top row. And I gave him my birth date, and he's like, oh, okay. I'm like, holy shit, this guy's good. It's a mini keyboard. He just used the top row to type my date in. He's good.
Top row, no way. There was this laptop that I was looking at, this gaming laptop, where the mouse pad, the mouse, the little mouse, the trackpad, had numbers on it to emulate like a number keypad, like just there, and so it was flat, but it had like little outlines for where the numbers would be. So if you wanted to use a number pad, you could. I was like, that's genius. That's so smart. Like that is such a smart way to do things. Yeah. Anyway, how's it going, man? How's it been?
It has been a week. It has been 7 whole days since we were last here. And in that time, things have happened. We both went and saw a movie. We saw the same movie, not at the same time or at the same place, but we saw the same movie, so we could talk about that. Yeah. And I have some things to, elaborate on, not necessarily the movie, but the experience. There's a weird cartoon coming. We'll talk about that.
Okay. Yeah.
But I do have breaking news, Francis. We are not known to be a place for breaking news, but I'm going to have some for you today. Breaking the news. I don't have a soundbite for it. I should have thought ahead. But
break. Oh, I just rolled it up. I didn't break it. Damn. All right. Okay, what's the breaking news?
Hulk roll. Announced just like a couple hours ago as we record on the 9th of May, 2023.
2013. Oh my God. Thank God.
Right.
I'm young again.
It's all been a really bad dream. MTV has announced that MTV News is shutting down. The breaking news, Francis, is not that MTV News is shutting down. The breaking news is me telling all of you out there that MTV News is still a thing. Well, it's not anymore.
You beat me to the joke. Because that's exactly what I was going to say next. Was like, MTV News is still a thing. Shocker.
Kurt Loder. What's Kurt Loder going to do? I don't think Kurt Loder's been on MTV News in probably 20. Is Kurt Loder alive?
I don't know. But, listeners may have been talking about pawn shops and Goodwill and all these thrift stores and stuff. You're going to see MTV News there. Sitting in those.
Kurt Loder's just going to be a Kurt Loder. The whole set's going to be at a fucking an LA Goodwill here pretty soon. And that's just where you're going to find Kurt and Sway and
who was
John's.
TRL. Who did that one? Was it TRL? Oh God, what's his name? He used to do like a really late night morning, like a late night show at like 1 o'clock in the morning.
I know. I know who you're talking about, but I can't think of his name.
Yeah, I can't either.
John Daly.
No, close though.
B. Arthur.
You're right. Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Dean Cain.
So yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just. Yes. Good. Superman. It's crazy. That's crazy. That that MTV News. I mean, look, but how is anyone surprised? They got rid of BuzzFeed News. They're not getting rid of MTV News. Like
I was.
News is just that.
One time at the dispensary, some people came in, very A-type personality people. I started chit-chatting with them, and they ended up giving me their card. And they were some sort of subsidiary group of BuzzFeed. They were like, oh, you should contact us. We can do a podcast. I'm like, yeah. Then they handed me a metal business card, and I was like, oh, shit.
Is that the level of importance is determined based on the material that the card is made of?
I mean, it was pretty impressive. I mean, who's handed you a metal business card before?
I don't know. What does listeners may say about Kurt Loder?
I'm pretty sure that Kurt Loder is one of the DJs on the 80s on the 8, one of the Sirius radio stations.
Oh, good. I'm glad he's still working.
God, he's got to be fucking like in his 70s, but good for him, I guess.
Man, all of these places are cutting staff so much. 25% of the staff at Paramount is being cut, and MTV News is one of the things that is getting sliced. Wow.
Have we talked about the whole HBO turning to just Max thing? Have we talked about that at all? Do you remember?
No, I mean we probably brought it up, but I don't think we talked about it. We haven't
I think
discussed it.
Why Why just Max? Why not just keep HBO? Isn't that what it, what HBO's known for is HBO?
Because it wants to include Discovery, right? It wants to include Discovery shows, the National Geographic, whatever, and Discovery shows are part of Discovery. I think National Geographic is.
Well, remember
it's just a way of like adding that on.
Remember when they had like Net Geo? That was two different.
Nat Geo, I remember
that was two different companies coming together. Why can't they figure that out?
No, it was National Geographic. It was Nat Geo. That was it.
Just was it? I thought it was two. I thought it was two different companies.
No, it might have been.
I don't know. You're probably right. Remember, my finger's nowhere near the pulse.
The world's going crazy. Well, it will be soon when we become part of Nerds That Geek.
I mean, yeah. I mean, kind of. We already are, kind of, sorta, but not really.
Well,
it's coming.
My only comment about that is people are getting their news from people like us, which is awful. Don't do that.
Oh, but think of how much fun it would be if we can, like, if there's some way we can, like, piece together, like, even if it was just, like, once a month, a video that we produced, somehow that it was all about XYZ and I don't know. It would be weird because we're in two different places, but.
What movie or show did that recently? Like, so many people just. Distance is no longer a thing. They just do that. When you wait for the movies, they, all the stuff they show before a movie, which I know we're going to talk about movies soon, but they have like those ads at the beginning that are like, hey, here's a new show that's coming out. Let's talk about it. And it's, what's her face? Melissa Menounos or whatever her name is, going like, yeah, I'm going to talk about this show. And then some random person on the other, like, she'll turn and talk to this other person who's obviously not there, but they superimpose them into the same place because, for some reason she doesn't have a mic, but the other dude does. He has a mic on his hand. He's like, well, actually, this is blah, 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 blah. So it's not too, it's possible, Josh. We can do it.
Let me tell you something, Francis, about the whole movie thing. Is that when you go for special screenings, press screenings, or whatever special event screenings, whatever they call it, you don't have to deal with any of that. You got to deal with a little bit of karaoke, but otherwise, you don't get any previews. The movie just starts. Except for the movie that I saw this weekend. Because it was a Disney product. Disney still slipped their fucking Disney dick in, and they got a couple little mini previews before the movie started.
Well, I was shocked when I watched Return of the Jedi. They had, I thought they weren't going to do trailers. I'm like, or if at the very best, I was really hoping they'd do like just trailers from 84, 83. Like, show us trailers from the era of this movie. That'd be fun. And
that would be fucking awesome.
It would have been, but no modern.
I mean, I get why they wouldn't.
Yeah.
Unless they put together a trailer that was all Disney owned, umbrella owned properties, right. And then cut together a quote unquote 70s style, or if they were already 70s properties, and put those trailers together. I can see them doing that, but not actual era, trailers, which would have been fresh.
It would have been fun. Anyway.
But you and I both went and saw Guardians of the Galaxy. Part Trace.
You did. Part Trace. Volume Trois.
The menage a trois of the movies. Wait.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's what trois means. Trois is three. So.
Yeah. I don't know how we don't really spoil things here. We're not really that kind of place. It's been a week.
We don't normally review movies here.
We don't really review movies here. But I thought it was a great flick. Luckily, there was no embargoes or anything like that. So, like, I couldn't walk out of it and be like, I can't say anything. If somebody asked me, I would have said something. Go ahead. I got to sneeze.
Yeah, you were lucky enough to see it like the day before it debuted, so that was good. See, we're both muting to sneeze. I have to sneeze again too, so
Oh, good.
glad we're both there. But yeah, soon
Um,
height to the both of us.
I was lucky enough to get invited by Nerds at Geek to come check out Guardians, and I enjoyed the movie a lot. I thought it was a great book into the current story. We'll see what happens. The otter, Lila, with the robot arms was fucking me up. The whole time it was messing with my brain.
So, you know,
I wish there was more backstory
I
with those guys, but go on.
I was listening to some reviews, and just to see what I was really curious what other people thought. And one of the things that I liked that people were saying, not that I like, but I'm like, yeah, the other two you could kind of bring a kid, right? You could kind of bring a child to watch it, like under 13. You could probably bring an under 13-year-old to watch the other two Guardians of the Galaxy movies because, yeah, there's suggestive stuff. There's like, whatever. There's stuff there that's like a little adult, but not so much that you can't just be like, yeah, whatever.
Right.
Kind of. But this stuff with the animals, I'm like, you're gonna traumatize a kid with this movie if they watch it because it's super. Like, even I was just like, this is a lot. Like a lot of stuff is going on with animals, and they're all fake animals, sure, but I mean, when PETA starts praising your movie, when PETA's like, this is how you're supposed to make a movie about animals, showing how terrible humans are to animals, then you either have a good thing or a bad thing.
I initially the thing I saw most coming out of the movie was I wish this movie started with a trigger warning, and I'm like, oh, shut the fuck, like,
Yeah,
come on.
that's the word. Yeah.
Like, there was no there was no straight up animal torture. It was all CGI, without getting into anything, right?
But that's the thing. The trigger is you seeing it, whether it, that's the no movie. No, stop with the no, stop it.
I was like, what the fuck? Just enjoy it. I
We're old.
like to see where they're going to go with it all. Again, without spoiling anything.
Well,
But it definitely seems like it's going to be the last of the Guardians of the Galaxy the current Guardians of the Galaxy team that we're going to get. Luckily, it's an interchangeable group of people.
Right. Even though at the very end of the movie, they say something at the very last words before the movie shuts off for good. They're like, oh, okay. Well, people aren't gone as much as they are just in the wings. But James Gunn is done. He's a DC guy now. He had his wife cameo in the movie, which is always fun to see. His wife cameo.
And how much people hate it?
People hate it because he brought his wife in. There are some cameos in there. I was really surprised to see, even though they were advertising some. So I'm not gonna say who they were, but I'm like, oh, good, that actor was in this movie. He was one of the guards of that bio planet, and I'm like, oh, people like him. So, I think you know who I'm talking about because it's just like he was very prominent as a guard in those weird bubble suits.
The Nathan Fillion.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say anything, but yeah, Nathan Fillion's in it.
Well,
yeah,
you can't say his word or something.
And then
you can't say his
no,
name?
but I mean, in case people didn't know he was in there and wanted to be surprised, right?
Oh well, fuck me.
It's only been out for a weekend. It's only been out for a week. I'm like, I just don't want to,
And nobody listens to me.
But I will say, nah, everyone listens. That's the problem is everyone listens to you. That's the problem. Like, it's like too many people listen to you.
Too many.
Yeah.
Tell seven.
And I
tell
think
tell 7 more people out there, or whatever the
we
number
only need
is.
5.
Tell 5 more people out there. Go ahead.
5 people.
Go on.
Come join. The only thing I wanted to say really is, yay, Marvel MCU finally has their first F-bomb. Thank you.
That was pretty fucking funny.
And apparently it was improv. Apparently that wasn't the line.
That's what I saw as well, and they were just like, you know what, we're keeping it.
It was funny. It was like it was one of the funniest lines. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, it's perfect. Like, it's inconsequential, but it's hilarious. Like, I found it really funny. Pretty funny movie too, right? Pretty funny. I like
No,
that.
overall, yeah. I recognized Tara Strong's voice immediately. She was that Ravager that's just a floating head. Who was Miley Cyrus apparently in the previous movie, so there's probably some drama there, I guess.
Miley Cyrus said one word, I think, and when she did her cameo in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Just to see Sylvester Stallone there, just like, oh, dude, come on.
I mean,
that was fun. You just,
the whole time I was watching the movie, the antagonist in the movie, I'm thinking, did I miss something? Is this another version of Kang? That I miss out on something? I was so confused.
Oh, oh God, he has one of those names. Whatever.
The master.
Vader.
Oh, fuck. The master evolutionist or something like that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the high evolutionary.
High evolutionary.
High evolutionary.
Yeah, so the whole time I was like, is this another version of Kang? But I was like, I don't think this is the same actor. And if it is, holy shit, he deserves every reward in the world, because I think this is a whole different person.
Yeah, it was a whole different person, a whole different villain.
Yeah, I realized that about halfway through the movie. I was like, no, this is just somebody else. But why was he wearing RoboCop's outfit?
They tell you why. They show you in the movie why.
I must have been eating popcorn because I missed it.
I'll say it without kind of giving why Rocket does it, but Rocket does it. Rocket does it to his face.
Oh, well, yeah, but his whole
like a
suit
scene
was like
where
RoboCop.
Rocket does a thing.
Yeah, but his whole body was like in a RoboCop outfit.
Oh yeah. Well, that's just his suit. I mean, why does anyone have like a suit? Why does anyone have like a superhero, supervillain suit in that?
Do you remember when Lex Luger had a suit?
Really?
Yeah, he had an exosuit for a little while.
I
don't know why.
A green one.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I didn't watch Superman Adventures as much as I watched Batman.
He was a human and he needed superpowers.
You know what I needed superpowers for?
What do you need superpowers?
While sitting through that theater, and the experience that I had at the theater, which wasn't all bad. It wasn't bad at all.
Right.
There was a moment of embarrassment, but then we got over that. Not my embarrassment. I was embarrassed for somebody. But this place had Pepsi products only. Before I get to that part, actually, are theaters dying, or do I just keep going or are theaters not open except for on the weekends? Because every time I've gone to a movie, it's been on a Wednesday night or a Tuesday night, and the theater's shut down. And this special screening is the only thing that's happening in the theater. This is at two different places.
I mean, it depends what you... I mean, look, about 4 or 5 months ago, we have a chain here called Regal. I don't know if it's a nationwide chain.
Yeah,
Regal Cinemas closed down like a quarter of their theaters because they weren't making any money, while AMC continues to hold strong for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, I'm glad because I have my local theaters in AMC, and I have an AMC A-list subscription. So keep it up, AMC, because I want to be able to watch movies in a movie theater. But yeah, yeah. I mean, during the pandemic specifically, movie theaters all kind of went down. A lot of them downgraded in size. A lot of the bigger screen theaters went down to like half the number of screens. So yeah, a lot of theaters downsized. Um, so that's not surprising if your theater downsized a little bit.
The place I went to, I believe, was a 12 screen house,
Okay.
which is it's been that way since it was built. I did get an IMAX screening, which was pretty fresh. But yeah, it's just weird. The last 2-3 events that I've been with these guys at the theater, we're the only people there. There is no
Wow.
other shows happening. Like the
You mean
people,
on a weekday?
yeah, and it's always been 7 o'clock isn't very late. And then when we're leaving, the people behind the
You
counter,
have
there's
work in the morning, man.
all the concession people are gone. There's like one usher person, like, get the fuck out. I need to lock this place up. It's like 9
It's
o'clock.
probably yeah. Yeah, I mean, my theater still has 11 o'clock showings on a Wednesday, on a Tuesday. There's 10, 11 o'clock showings. I mean, locally, it seems pretty banging, but maybe in your area, in your area, it's like nobody wants to watch a movie. Be gone with your movies.
Right. Well, apparently they've been be gone with the choices of soda as well. Because this particular theater, like I said, had Pepsi products. Like, okay, cool. They got the Pepsi product has the mug, usually, for the root
Mug.
beer choice. Or some sort of root beer.
Yeah.
This place, all they had was Pepsi, Diet Pepsi, Cherry Pepsi, Starry, and like water.
Sorry.
So I was like, all right.
Yeah.
I keep seeing the billboards. I keep seeing stuff for it. Give me a Starry. Let me give it a shot. I'm here to tell you, don't order it. Don't buy it. What does it taste like, you ask me? I'll tell you.
Well,
It tastes
yeah.
it tastes like someone drank a Sprite and then phoned somebody across the world, pick a country, and then explained what Sprite is. And then that person across the world who jotted down notes went, cool, I have the recipe. And then they made it. We'll never be sponsored by Pepsi.
Well, look, sorry. I preferred Sierra Mist, which was their original lemon lime soda.
I just
I thought
found
Sierra Mist
out
was
by accident that Starry replaced Sierra Mist.
yeah.
Sierra Mist is
Yeah,
gone.
so right. So that's what I'm saying. Like I miss Sierra Mist because that's what it used to be, and then Starry came out of nowhere and became their de facto lemon lime, Sprite competitor / 7-Up competitor. And it's fine. I mean, I've had it. It's no Sierra Mist. It's definitely no Sprite, which has like a nice crispness.
It's
to
no
it.
7-Up.
It tastes like it's no. Well, 7-Up is probably my favorite beverage, if I a soda beverage. So I'm a little biased, but yeah. I don't know, man. Yeah, that sucks. Sorry. Yeah, Starry sucks.
I
Yeah.
sat down in the theater and took a big drink out of it after, like, a nice big handful of the popcorn and just kind of announced to the whole theater. I was like,
Yeah.
just so everybody knows, don't order Starry. It's like TV static in a cup.
Starry is like, yeah, Starry is.
Look,
It's sad.
I hate it when people say, look, God damn it, stop. It's the second time I've said that today.
I love
I
it.
know, I hate it. Now I forgot what I want to say. I'm so disappointed in myself.
Starry. Yeah.
Damn it, it's gone.
Yeah, no,
I
no,
threw
look,
myself
Starry
off
is-
so
is-
much by saying something I fucking hate it when people say.
Starry is a pale imitation to other lemon lime beverages. I don't know if it's even made. I don't know if like Pepsi bought Starry and were like, we can just use Starry as our Sierra Mist replacement instead of just sticking with Sierra Mist. Like if you have a drink that already works, why are you getting another one with a completely different name? But I'm guessing it's another company.
I think it's
makes
a different
Starry
it's a
and
totally
Pepsi
different
drink.
product. Yeah.
Yeah, and they just like, we're gonna buy Starry. You know what they need is to make somebody who does Shirley Temples, and that's like their drink, which is, I know there's a cherry 7-Up, but that's not. I mean that's essentially what a Shirley Temple is.
That's what I was gonna say.
But
Yeah.
like,
Whoa,
yeah.
we got a big one. Listener's mate just sent us half a book.
That's what she said.
Haha, it doesn't even fit in the chat. So he said, I don't go to the movie theater because it costs too much. The last movie I saw was Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and only went because a friend of mine was paying for me or paying for the tickets. It's way cheaper for you to wait for the movie to come out on DVD, Blu-ray, and watch it as much as you want to your heart's content. Plus the extras and all that stuff too. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
You know, and the way things are going nowadays, you can just wait a couple weeks and just stream it, or sometimes stream it the day it comes out in the theater, which is kind of nice too.
AMC took that movie. If you remember, there was oh God, whatever that movie something. There was like a
Movie
a
Pass.
service, Movie Pass. Yeah. So they took the Movie Pass thing when Movie Pass failed completely. I had Movie Pass.
I remember
right?
that.
Because I was paid like $10 a month for all the movies I want to see. Like, count me in.
Right.
And then they just completely failed. And so AMC's like, here, for double the amount, you can watch more or less 3 movies a week, which is a lot, personally, I think. 3 movies a week, you know, any format, fine. So I watch a movie a week. So the $23, $25 I spend a month for it pays for itself. So I love the movie theater experience. I way prefer it than watching movies at home, because I like hearing other people laugh when things are funny. I like hearing people clap when the movie ends. Like, I like hearing that stuff. I like being around it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the assholes who like are on their phone during a movie or whatever, which unfortunately is growing more and more and more and more people are like feeling comfortable being on their phones while watching a movie for some stupid reason.
Sure.
But for the most part, I love that environment. Oh, if I could always be in that environment, I would do it. I miss midnight showings for that very reason. I don't go to midnight showings because it's pointless, because they show the movie early on a Thursday, but it doesn't matter.
Right.
I love that environment. I love when people dress up. I love when people get excited for no apparent reason whatsoever, other than they're watching a movie they like.
I enjoy going to the theater and for breakfast and doing like the first show of the day with a bucket of popcorn and a big old bucket of soda. That's great. You're the only person in the theater. That's even better.
Yeah. I'm with you on that one. Yeah.
I dig that a lot. I also too enjoy being in a big theater and watching everybody get excited for things. Even if you've seen the movie, you go to see it a second time, you're like, oh, here it comes. You know. I saw Transformers, the animated cartoon, for its 35th and 40th anniversaries. And they were playing the original version of it, which there's a human in the, it's animated, but there's a human in the car. Damn, that's really confusing. In the cartoon, there's a human, and something happens in the movie. It's been 40 years. I don't think it's spoiler alert anymore, but Unicron's, getting ready to kill everybody, and a ship tries to get away, and they go, we got away. And then they see that Unicron's still alive, and the guy says, oh, shit. And knowing that that's the version that they're going to play, there I am, knowing it's coming. There's kids in the theater, both of these screenings. So it's just great when someone screams, oh, shit. And it's not muffled. It's clear as day. And you see all the kids, oh, he said a bad word. It's so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
So I totally dig it. I totally dig it. And seeing these special events, sometimes there's alcoholic beverages served at these theaters. So
Oh yeah.
you definitely get a little bit rowdier of a crowd sometimes. But I haven't recently been to a theater just to go see a movie. I was supposed to go see Godzilla, 2 different Godzilla flicks, but, you know, life happens and your movie ticket isn't important. So you got to, get that money back. I wanted to go see Return of the Jedi. Kind of missed out on that just due to fucking being busy with life. But yeah, it's just weird because maybe it's just because I keep going to see these special screenings. But every time I go, I'm like, is this place even open? Like, are we the only people here?
They might even shut it down just for the special screenings, which they do. Theaters will shut down everything else just for a special screening.
Okay.
Because, yeah, I mean, there's potential for celebrity being there, or there's potential for like things that the general audience shouldn't have access to, like a karaoke machine. You're
not wrong there.
You know what the general public singing and yelling and screaming on that thing. So there you go.
Or bringing their own karaoke machines before screenings to any movie.
Yeah.
Anytime. We're just gonna entertain you before the show starts. But they spend millions of dollars to do that on the screen for us. So yeah.
Did you watch another movie? I thought you watched 2 movies.
I mean, I watch movies all the time.
Oh, I thought you were gonna review another movie. I thought there were 2 movies you saw outside of. It was Guardians, and then I thought your note was Guardians, Soda, and then another movie.
No, just the theaters were dying.
Oh, theater.
Or that was a question, not a statement. The Guardians, kind of just umbrella recap. 2 thumbs.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, there you go. Theaters aren't dying because it was like $140 million or whatever this weekend.
Like I said, so maybe they are just shutting them down for these special screenings, and I just because I haven't been to a movie outside of that recently. Maybe that's why I have that perspective. Like, what? Because like this place, there should be, like 100 people here, waiting to get into other theaters. Like, what the hell's going on here?
Well, well, they were all watching Mario Brothers, so
on Twitter.
Well,
they were
for 7 hours.
What else is going on, Francis? You got a review of your the book that you were involved in. I didn't read the review. I just saw that it was going through my stream of things before I went to bed the other day. Sorry, you can talk about it.
No, don't worry about it. Look, here's the thing with it. So it's weird now being a quote unquote writer, because there's like these expectations that you have now for, books. Like, you need to do certain things to get a book out there. One is to get people to pre-order it before it even comes out, which is so weird. Like, they don't know what's in it. You got to try to convince people to buy a book before they even know what's in it, which is like, sure, I guess most people buy books before they know what's in it, right?
I mean, sure, yeah.
So that's the number one. You want that. The number two is get people to review your book. The more people to review your book, the more likely people are gonna, because there's like a zillion books out there, right? Like, I mean, as much as it's hard to write and publish, it's not so hard that like a zillion people have written books and published books. Like, so many people have written and published books. Like, there's just too many books and not enough hours in the day to read all the books.
Right.
So here's a book that it got its first review. That's why it was such a big deal, because it got its first review, and it was a 5-star review, which is very nice. Thanks to the person who did the 5-star review. Didn't mention any other story other than 2, which was one written by the guy who owns the publishing company, Mark Spile, and his wife wrote a story. So theirs was reviewed as the best story in there, and then the second in the same review, the second kind of commentary was, well, this story, they didn't say it was bad, which was really nice of them. They're like, well, this other story, and it wasn't mine, but it was this other story that we read from this other author, yeah, it just wasn't for me. Yeah, I didn't like it. It wasn't for me, which is the nicest thing you can say about a story, like about something you don't like. It's like, well, it's just not for me, you know. And they still gave it 5 stars. So that's very nice. Um, but yeah, I mean, look, if you're listening to, I think Listener's Mate is also actually reading it right now. My understanding is he's reading it right now. So I'm certain Listener's Mate, once he's completed the book, will hopefully. If you don't have to, Listener's Mate, you don't have to. You don't want to.
Yes, you
But
do.
yeah, leave a. But you know, it'd be cool. Yeah, leave a review because the reviews help us out a lot. You know, if you read it, review it because that's gonna help us kind of just get the name out there. Because yeah, we're we're a fledgling, you know, group of the guy who did it, Mark's Pile. He's a fledgling owner of a publishing company, so all of this stuff is brand new to him, right? He's doing something completely different. So, and a little bit helps, but books to read, the number 2, read.com/, Tales of Monstrosity. You can look it up, or if you just look up Tales of Monstrosity on like Amazon and Barnes and Noble, you'll find it because surprisingly nobody else wrote a book called Tales of Monstrosity. But if you happen to read it, you know, I'd love to know what you guys think. I don't, you know, hate my story. I don't care. I just want to think. I just want to know what you think about everything else. I'm the least invested because I'm not a regular writer like everyone else is. Everyone else wrote standalone books. Everyone is like a writer. I just write whenever they tell me to. Oh, here you go. So listeners may says he promises to leave a review when he gets done reading. He's 42% through the thing, which is funny because myself, Jeff Burns, Marisa Wolf, who's a frequent guest at Super Geeked Up, and Mark Spile, the titular guy who runs the company. Our books are at the end. Like, our stories are, like, at the end of the book.
Mm-hmm.
So, Listener's Mate hasn't gotten to our stories yet. So, I'm curious what you think about them. But, yeah, JC Mastro, who has a great story in there about an amusement park. That's a lot of fun. So, go check that story out. It even has his T-shirt. The dude made a T-shirt for his story. It's not even a book. It's not even like a full book. He made a T-shirt for his story, which one day we'll make POI T-shirts or something.
Like,
and I'll wear it. I'll wear like a POI hoodie.
Like I would do like POI gang rags.
Yeah, give me a do rag. So you can put it on.
Yes. You want to make this a thing?
I'll just have it just right there, the 3 letters right at the top. And it needs to be the old font so it looks like pot. And it's like, yeah, I'm cool.
Let me tell you funny thing about a do-rag.
Mm.
So, kayfabe, I work at a kitchen. I work at a kitchen.
Yes. Yeah.
And I got tired of wearing those really annoying hairnets or big poofy paper hairnet things. They're not really hairnet. It's more like not a chef's hat, right? But just a big poofy. It doesn't matter. I got tired of wearing those disposable things, and I was like, you know what? I need to find something that is just permanent. It's a permanent, hairnet. So I went to a kitchen supply store. This is important to the story.
Okay.
And I go and I find the hat and hairnet section, kind of thing. And I find a thing. It's a hairnet. Yeah. It's a little hat. And you can even get it, you run it under the faucet, wring it out, and it'll keep your head cool. And I was like, hey, I like that feature. And also it'll fit. It'll keep my hair that I don't have from getting into anything that we make.
Nice.
And yes, listeners, mate, we will try to come to the Fiddlers Convention. We can
one day. We have to.
I know, right?
Dude, you invite us all the time, and I love it. I mean, we need to. First off, it's fiddling, which
is illegal in some states.
You do it itself, so
but,
one day. That's true.
But no, so I buy this thing, and I go to work, and I have it on the next day, next couple days or whatever. And a guy at work walks up to me and he goes, "What the hell are you wearing?" And I was like, hairnet. And he goes, well, let me check your waves. And I went, huh?
Whoa.
He goes, wave check. And I was like, huh? And he goes, take your do-rag off. Let me check your waves. And I was like, man, I'm so white. I don't know what you're talking about right now. He's like, you realize you're wearing a do-rag, right? And I was like, no, it's a permanent hairnet thing. And I even showed him the card that was like stapled to it, you know?
Right.
And he's like, yeah, that's cool. Who's pictured on the front of that card, Josh? And I was like, African-American guy. He's like, yeah. It's a do-rag.
Oh, it's a do-rag.
I was like,
man.
oh, so what's the wave thing? What do you? He's like, that's how we get waves in our hair. And I was like, oh, do I have any?
Oh,
No.
please tell me you asked that.
I did.
Okay, good.
I did.
No, yeah. No.
So yeah, it was hilarious. After that, he was like, whatever. I paid for it. It was like $10. I'm wearing it. It's more comfortable than these other things.
Telling you, I will wear a POI do-rag on the show.
We'll get one.
Or a bandana. I'll do a bandana as well. I'll do a Mr. Miyagi bandana if you want me to do a POI bandana.
See, and I would do white rags, right? That way,
Sure.
You're neutral. So
It's also a color from the logo has white in it, right? So that's fine.
Yeah,
you can't do red because that's
the Bloods,
that's affiliated.
right? Right. I think white's affiliated too, but white is neutral.
Is it really?
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it depending on what city,
Okay.
Or like you go into a place, you like
Right.
forks up, forks down. It's cool.
Well, look, I think I'll be fine here, because as long as I'm wearing red or blue in LA, I'll be fine.
You're wearing
Whether
red,
for or against, at least it's not gonna be.
and you're wearing red now.
I don't. Yeah, but I'm not wearing a red do-rag though. That's the thing. Wearing a red T-shirt is fine. You just can't wear,
Can't be flying colors, as they say.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, Francis, I went through all my bullet points.
Did you really?
I did. We were like keeping it tight this week, apparently. Plus,
high and tight.
Plus, I'm tired.
Oh. Well,
Very
look.
tired.
Yeah, you're enjoying your new vehicle.
Things are going
enjoy
great.
riding every night.
Yes.
Yeah.
Each day, I get a little bit more comfortable with it. And still doesn't have a name. Still thinking about it.
Well, here's the thing. For the last, up until the Jeff Burns episodes, you had quite the saga for 3 months, where a lot of our conversation were the adventures of you getting this car, and now that you have it, life settles down, it plateaus,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because nothing's happening in my world quite yet, right? Like nothing new is happening. I'll probably have more to say, like, when I get a kidney or something. But like that's it. Like that's the big event that I'm waiting.
Right.
for.
That's when we all
It's
celebrate
like,
with
here's
beers.
something. Right. I mean, I could. That's the funny part is I can't now, but when I have one, I could, because
I mean,
I can handle.
Shouldn't, but
I can handle.
you
things.
could.
No. Yeah, like I'll still live in a really, but it won't be strict.
Right.
Like, I can actually,
Yeah.
live life a little bit, like a little bit. But yeah, so so it's been so yeah, so I nothing exciting except, I guess, as we wrap up, like if you want to hear karaoke to the nth degree, check out episode 400 of Super Geeked Up, where it was our musical episode and we sang like 90% of the time. Well, I did. Everyone else tried. Not tried. I mean, they sang really well, but I'm like, I refused to drop the sing song, so I just sang the whole time.
You were like
So,
riffraff
go check that
for a
out.
whole episode.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
refused to stop.
you
I
kept
just
up the
refused.
gimmick and everything.
I kept it up. Well, because no one else would. No one else was doing the gimmick, and the gimmick is this is the musical episode, and I did a musical thing. I was Les Mis for an entire episode where I just refused to say, talk normally, and I sang it. Like it was awful, but it was fun, and it was a lot of fun. A lot of laughter was had. I was crying, laughing most of the episode. Which is why I don't understand why I'm a part of an improv show, because I don't improv. I just laugh at everything. I'm the Jimmy Fallon of Super Geeked Up.
And you laugh at your own shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I got to kind of educate my niece this past weekend on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and told her that like
Ooh.
she's prime age to be watching, to watch the first like 3 episodes, because like high school angst is still fresh in her mind,
Yeah.
I was like, you should really get on it. But later in the seasons, and I think one of my brothers plays in a band. They were playing their first gig. It was at a bar. And we were waiting for the gig to start. The bar had Buffy playing on their TV, which I thought was really odd, but awesome at the same time. But I got to educate her.
TNT or something.
Hulu. But I got to educate her. So they made a conscious choice to put Buffy on. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But it was the season of the singing episode. It was very close to the singing episode. I can tell just because Dawn was stealing shit from the magic shop. And that leads up to releasing the singing dancing demon. So I was like, well, depending on how much time is here, you might see the episode. You won't be able to hear it or anything, but see the subtitles. But I got to educate her on Spike and Angel and Buffy herself and Anya being the vengeance demon, and then she gets her soul back and doesn't know how to be a human. And it's ridiculous and it's fun and it's on Hulu and you should watch it. And she was like, I'm totally going to watch this show. It was just great. It was just great to watch someone get excited about a show that hasn't been on in 15 years.
Well, I'm just glad they're not trying to reboot it or anything like they're trying with every other TV show.
They did the 8th season as a comic book.
Well, I think it's like season 10 now in the comics.
And that's what I'm saying.
They've been going on for a while. Yeah.
That's what I was going to say, is that I think the original story is now in comic book form. If you want the original story, there is, I thought they already did it, but I thought there was a Buffy reboot, or there was planning to be one. So I don't know about that. Oh, what the hell did I do? I did see something, and I don't know if it's just a fan making it up, but John Cena as RoboCop. I can't.
Joke, right?
I can't.
Is that the joke?
Well, no. The joke is I can't see that.
All right, let's see. RoboCop. John Cena RoboCop. RoboCop series in the works for Amazon. John Cena. Oh.
Confirmed.
According to, well, these are all weird websites. The Sports Rush.
That's not
well,
legit.
now that MTV News and BuzzFeed News are all gone, GiantFreakinRobot.com says RoboCop series in the works for Amazon. John Cena to star as the new cybernetic hero. I could see it actually. He has.
He's got the
build
jaw
for it.
Look, all you need is a jaw, or a jaw line, and be able
He
to.
doesn't have the voice though.
Francis, there's a lot of people that don't have the voice, and yet
Live.
somehow they make millions of dollars per track that they put out. And all I can think about is all the poor engineers that went to school to learn how to be a musical engineer to make people sound good. And now they get to go to work, and not only do they get to make people sound good, then they got to figure out on a keyboard what keys this motherfucker in the booth is attempting to try and hit.
I hope they auto-tune Cena the entire time. But yeah, no, that's cool. I mean, look, they had a cartoon with RoboCop for a little while. There was a video game, so good on them. I hope it works out actually. And I saw Peacemaker, and John Cena's great in Peacemaker, so I wouldn't mind him as RoboCop. That'd be kind of cool. So more power to him. Weird, but fine. That's no other comment other than weird, but fine. That's good. Anyway,
well, let's leave it on weird but fine, and just.
I mean, look, there's not much to say other than that. There you go.
There's not much else to say. But what we can say, Francis, is you could tell people where they can find you on the internet.
Look, go to supergeekedup.com for a new live episode of Super Geeked Up on Wednesday nights, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, where you won't hear me sing anymore. There was only for one episode, so you don't have to hear singing anymore, but you hear improv and geeky stuff, so go check that out. And yeah, if you want to buy the book, go to sinceresarcasm.net. There's a link in the front page. I finally put a link up. And you can buy Tales of Monstrosity and support a book from independent writers, especially since writers right now are scarce because they're on strike. But different kind of writer anyway. But still,
yeah. You never know. We never know what the future can hold.
You never know. The stuff that's happening because of this writer's strike is insane. But there you go. Check it out. AKA the other guy on Twitter and Instagram.
You can find me at 303_ninja on the Twitters, 303ninja on the Instagram. Wait, I said that backwards, right? Doesn't matter. Just look up 303ninja and you'll find me. Yeah. You can email us at email us at thepoipodcast@gmail.com. You can look up POI Podcast for everything that we do, YouTube and everything. And then you can call, voicemail, text into the show, 314-764-7631. It spells out POI Pod 1. Everybody that shows up, thank you very much for joining us every week. We are here to entertain you for an hour or so. We will continue to do that because no one's going to tell us we can't. We'll be back next week. More stories. More things to talk about. I'm trying to space this out because the song's going to end. And we're going to end the song now with the things that I don't know what to say. Bye.